Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Management Rule. In this video, we are looking at management roles. Management roles, according to Henry Mintzberg, he categorized management roles into three, and so he gave interpersonal, informational, and decision-making rules. In total, the management roles given by Henry Mintzberg are 10, but they have been grouped into three. So we look at interpersonal roles. And the interpersonal roles, Henry Mintzberg explained three roles. So we have figurehead, leader, and liaison. And the figurehead, the manager, performs symbolic roles. He is also seen as a symbolic head. He is obliged to perform a number of routine duties of a legal or social nature. Example, greeting visitors, signing legal documents. When we look at the manager as a leader, he says the manager is responsible for the motivation of subordinates, responsible for staffing, training, and associated duties. Some of the duties under leader will be expecting are performing activities that involves managing subordinates. Then the manager as a liaison, and the liaison, he maintains interpersonal relationship within the organization and outside contacts. And some of these activities are acknowledging mail, doing external board meetings, performing other activities that involve outsiders. Now we look at the informational role. And the informational, Henry Mintzberg explained three roles. That is the monitor, disseminator, and spokesperson. And the monitor, the manager seeks and receives wide variety of internal and external information to develop thorough understanding of organization and environment. And examples are reading periodicals and reports, maintaining personal contacts. We look at the manager's role of a disseminator. He transmits information received from outsiders to or from subordinates to members of the organization. Example, holding informational meetings, making phone calls to relay information. Then the manager as a spokesperson. He transmits information to outsiders on organizations, plans, policies, actions, results, etc. So he is the face of the organization. Examples of such roles are holding board meetings, giving or making phone calls to relay information. Then the decisional rule. Under decisional rule, the manager is an entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resource allocator, and negotiator. Under entrepreneur, he searches organization and its environment for opportunities and initiates improvement projects to bring about changes. Example, organizing strategy and review sessions to develop new programs. The manager is a disturbance handler, responsible for corrective action when organization faces important unexpected disturbances. Examples, organizing strategy and review sessions that involve disturbances and handling of crisis. Resource allocator. And the resource allocator, the manager is responsible for the allocation of organizational resources to all kinds, in effect, the making or approval of all significant organizational decisions. Examples, scheduling, requesting authorization, performing any activity that involves budgeting and the programming of employees' work. Then the manager as a negotiator. He said the manager is responsible for representing the organization at major negotiations. Participating in union contract negotiations or participating in contract negotiations with suppliers. So Henry Mansberg gave us 10 rules, and he said all managers are required to perform duties that are ceremonial and symbolic in nature. These duties require interpersonal roles. All managers have a role as a leader. This includes hiring, training, motivating, and disciplining employees. The third role within the interpersonal grouping is a liaison role. Mansberg describes this activity as contacting external sources who provide the manager with information. All managers will, to some degree, receive and collect information from organizations and institutions outside their own. Performing these activities is part of informational roles. Typically, information is gathered through reading periodicals and talking with others to learn of changes in the public's tastes, what competitors may be planning, and the like. Mansberg called this the monitor role. Managers also act as a conduit to transmit information to organizational members. This is the disseminator role. When they represent the organization to outsiders, managers also perform a spokesperson role. Mansberg identified 4 roles that revolve around the making of choices. Decisional roles. As entrepreneurs, managers initiate and oversee new projects that will improve their organization's performance. As disturbance handlers, managers take some action in response to previously unforeseen events. As resource allocators, managers are responsible for allocating human, physical, and monetary resources by, for instance, creating budgets. Lastly, managers perform as negotiators when they discuss and bargain with other groups to gain advantage for their units. We want to look at management skills. Managers at every level plan, organize, lead, and control. They differ in the amount of time they devote to each of these activities. Some of these differences depend on the kind of organizations for which the manager works. Other differences in the ways managers spend their time depend upon their levels in the organizational hierarchy. Robert Katz has identified 3 basic kinds of skills: technical, human, and conceptual. Every manager needs all 3. Technical skill is the ability to use the procedures, techniques, and knowledge of a specialized field. Professionals like teachers, surgeons, engineers, musicians, accountants all have technical skills in their respective fields. Technical skills are the job-specific knowledge and techniques needed to proficiently perform work tasks. These skills tend to be more important for first-line managers because they typically are managing employees who use tools and techniques to produce the organization's products or service to their organization's customers. Human skill is the ability to work with, understand, and motivate other people as individuals or in groups. Because all managers deal with people, these skills are equally important to all levels of management. Managers with good human skills get the best out of their people. They know how to communicate, motivate, lead, and inspire enthusiasm and trust. Conceptual skill is the ability to coordinate and integrate all of an organization's interests and activities. It involves seeing the organization as a whole, understanding how its parts depend on one another, and anticipating how a change in any of its parts will affect the whole. Katz suggests that although all 3 of these skills are essential to a manager, their respective importance depends mainly on the manager's rank that he holds in the organization. Technical skill is most important in the lower levels. Human skill, by contrast, is important for managers at every level because managers must work primarily through others. Their ability to tap the technical skills of their subordinates is more important than their own technical proficiency. Finally, the importance of conceptual skill increases as one rises through the ranks of a management system based on hierarchical principles of authority and responsibility. Thank you very much for watching my YouTube channel.